those clusters. And then after doing that, thankfully, people graduated. People that were in school graduated, and then they joined companies, and then they said, "Oh, you want to do this? I know somebody." So it was an organic growth. And then after a year of 7 university students, we moved on to startups. So what I realized was that it was very difficult to get to big companies. So you need to know somebody and know somebody and know somebody. So it's very difficult. So I said startups are quite small. Probably a team of 5, team of 6. Our first set of adopters were Oreoluwa and PiggyVest. And till now, they are the longest serving customers that we've had. And the good thing was, startups are geared for growth. So we were a startup, and we hinged our growth on the businesses growing. So by the time we served them for 1 year, PiggyVest grew its users from like 500K to like 1.2 million users. So their marketing grew. Career-wise, when we started working with them, everybody was less than 10 team members, career-wise, PiggyVest. And then they also met other startups and they said, "Oh, who did this for you?" So a referral system is very important when you're starting business. Know your value, define the audience, create a network of how one person can talk to another person talk to another person. You might have to induce it. You might have to make sure somebody says something. Because sometimes people say they will tell somebody, but you can't tell somebody to tell somebody, and you have to either hint at it or make sure it's something that needs to be somehow just make sure it is there. Like that is how you will grow as a small business, because you don't have the money to do as much marketing with your money as much as you can, or you should. So organic is always the way to go for small businesses. If you are a tailor, make sure you are doing something good that somebody's telling another person. And
Wow. Two things that I have picked up from that. First and foremost is you obviously start from where you are with the market that you know, while you are trying to go into another markets that you do not know. And you also talked about how you create a business that you grow with, or that grows as your customers grow, your business also grows. Mm-hmm. But you said something about connections, and that brings us to the exact topic. We are looking at how people can use connection tools, in this case online. First time I heard of We Create was online. Yeah. I was on Twitter. And just so you know, this is nice. We Create merch. Yeah. So the idea is, how did you talked about having to induce people to actually tell other people that you know.
Yes.
I know one of the tools that you use was
social media.
Yeah, an online tool. So could you talk us through that and specifics? How did you do? Maybe give us an idea of a few campaigns that you did.
So I think one of the things that a lot of people do not understand about social media is you in a hall that is either empty or full. So it's a hall, it's a very big hall. The more you talk about one thing, the more people hear about what you are talking about. If you talk about many things, you will never get an audience. So if you shout A, at some point somebody somewhere says that this guy is known for A. So, but if you say ABC, they know you for an alphabet. You're saying alphabet. But you need to be consistent with one message. So I personally, while I was in uni, I had friends that were online. When I was 16, I got a scholarship to Oxbridge Tutorial College from Igbobi College. I went to Igbobi College, by the way. So from Igbobi College, I got a scholarship to Oxbridge. And then in Oxbridge was where I actually joined Twitter. Because like everybody used to do Twitter in secondary school, but I felt like it was a distraction then. But then in sixth form, it was like where we all met and just said about courses and all of that. So when I went to uni, because I then went to Bowen University. But Bowen University, I did not have the same set of friends that were on my Twitter feed then. So people that started meeting, started saying, "Oh, follow me on Twitter." Just make sure you are growing your followership organically from people that you meet in different phases of life. So sometimes if I meet you now and you're on Twitter but you don't follow me, I say, "Oh, what do you do?" And that's one way to spark conversations. Be interested in the other person more than yourself in the conversation. So like I say, "Oh, that's what do you do?" You say, "Oh, I'm a dentist." Ah, that's really nice. I remember one time I broke my teeth. The person says, "Oh, are you sure you?" I am centering the person in the conversation. By the time I say, "Are you on Twitter?" the person is interested in knowing what I do on Twitter, because the person is like, "Oh," but most people are more conscious about what they do than what the other person does. So most conversations don't convert because you are centering yourself in the conversation. So by the time I left uni, I had friends that were all on Twitter, like we would use for banter and anything basically. So when I started We Create, one thing I told myself was, I don't have the money to go to meet everybody that needs my service, but one thing I know I have is a platform. Is it either empty or is it a full hall? But there is a hall. So what do I say I will do? I will keep saying what I do for a living and how it's of value to the other person. Because it's the value it offers to the other person that is the important part. Not really that what you do. It's when you've now journeyed a distance and you have a metric of growth that you now say, we have done XYZ over the past XYZ, and people now say, "Oh, that's really impressive." So in 2019, we sold 10,000 t-shirts, no, 10,000 products, about 8,000 plus t-shirts. And when we put that out, a lot of people retweeted and were like, "Oh my God, that's so good, that's so good." But during the 2019, how we sold those shirts were not by saying, "We've sold one shirt now, we sold two shirts now. Who wants to buy a shirt too?" Another culture that I think is very dominant in social media is, "Come and buy my market too."
My helper is on your timeline.
My helper is on your timeline, retweet. So emotional blackmail is effective for two people, but you won't get 10,000 people in the hall to look at you because it rubs off as somehow to some people that you're selling market, sell your market now. Why are you saying so there's that to it, but being able to just say your story. So when we started, I literally put out a tweet the day we launched, and I said, what we are doing now is going to determine the growth of this company over the next 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years. I think it was 10 years I mentioned. And when I said that, I was very hopeful in what I said. Every now and then, every time we hit a milestone, I go back to that tweet and I just smile, because anything could happen. Like, do you get, like, there is a statistic that says that startups don't last. Most startups fail after 2 years. So I was telling myself that we are going to do more than the average 2 years that people say startups. It was a commitment to myself. I was telling myself that I will do this, yeah? But I was also showing people that had followed me a while that this is something that I am going to do. You can be a part of it. You can assist me. We can grow this together. And I think that's very important, to let people know that you are going for a big thing. Like, let it not be a survival business. Let it be a thriving business. It's a very thin line between, please buy my business, please come and patronize me, to, I'm going to make this thing happen. Whether you buy, you don't say whether you buy or not, but you're basically, I know there is a need for this. I know somebody in this hall needs this. You might not be the one. You might know somebody that needs it. But I will keep saying what I'm saying so that when somebody says, "Oh, I need a shirt," you say, "I know someone." What's that handle? AMB_ORE. I need you to do that. Don't remember fully. Just know that, let me be somewhere in your head, because it's like, it's getting mind share in people. And that's what people do on TV. That's why people advertise. Our business actually aids businesses to have visibility. So there are a lot of startups that are technological businesses, but then their market is physical. So what do? We connect their technological brand and business, and we communicate it in a physical means so that they can reach that audience. So what are the things that I think will be necessary? One, if you want to grow an audience and be known on social media, first thing is there should be a problem that you're solving. Value should be created. You create a value, and then people see that, okay, I have this problem, you can solve it for me. I'm weary of trends. So for instance, just say, we are all makeup artists now, and then everybody just start learning makeup artistry. And it's not like makeup artistry is the problem, but you need to know what you are solving. So I can explain down to the emotion we sell at We Create. That's very important for me to understand. So we've evolved over the years. Now we don't just do shirts, we do total merchandise. So we do merch boxes. That's a t-shirt, a mug, a notebook, just name it. Like the whole swag you need to market. That is the evolution. But the emotion we've always been selling has always been the same thing. It's identification, it's customization. That is the core of the company. How it blows up is different. We might launch a fashion streetwear very soon. We might already. It might already be ready. It might have already. It's already ready. But yeah, there's just so much you can do. But the core of it needs to be the same. Facebook connects people, whether they are using VR, AR glasses, it's connecting people. They stay at their core. So every business needs to have a core that can evolve, but the use case is still the same on a value creation level. So that's very, very important. You need to know if you build houses, you sell houses, but you're selling security, you're selling comfort. Those are the two things that you need in a house. You stay in your house so that you are safe. You stay in your house so that you are comfortable. But you cannot be selling, it's cheaper, because no matter the price point you sell at, somebody is selling at a cheaper price point. Yes, at some point you can mention the fact that it's cheap, but that shouldn't be your flagship message. You get, like, you have to be very careful. When we first started, our tagline was connecting communities. Like I said, we started with clusters of students in universities. They graduated, went for NYSC, thank God for NYSC, went to now we've delivered to almost 10 states in Nigeria. I did not go to 10 states in Nigeria, but NYSC sent my friends to 10 states in Nigeria. That is how you synthesize, you grow. Integrity, yeah. So I'll give you this example. Tailors are not the most they don't really have integrity on the mass level. If you want to start a tailoring business, that is just deliver on time. Do you get, like, it's basic. You might think, you might have the excuses to give, because everybody that doesn't make it on time has an excuse, and it's valid. Excuses are valid. Somebody can say, I'm not going to church today. I just feel like nobody is. You know what you're feeling, but you need to come to church for it to grow. You can tell somebody about the gospel, and the person says, I don't really, this Jesus thing. It's the person's decision and his rationale of why. But you need that regardless. So, as a tailor, deliver on time. Simple. Don't let people be making trade. This tailor is a trade. So, that's just something small. House agents. House agents will take you to 15 houses with cubicles of kitchens and cubicles of rooms and say, it's so good, it's so big, you just need to see it. The person is thinking from the barest minimum perspective. He's like, this person might settle, so let me just give him this opportunity, this option. But what that person is doing is that person is shortchanging himself. Next time I want a house, I will not mention you. Mechanics are mechanics. They create problems and solve some. So that is the basic when you want to become a mechanic, what do? You make sure you win the heart of your customers, and they say, this car is sounding somehow. I don't know if you heard, very rare people say it. This car is sounding somehow. Let me take it to my mechanic. No, something happens, and then they say, I need to carry this car to my mechanic. But if you win, if your mechanic is very trustworthy, you would be more driven to say, let me take it to him. So, like, mechanics should have subscription models, but they don't have enough integrity to set that up. Nobody would. You get? So, integrity is very important. So, for instance, let me tell you what our when we started, I told myself that, okay, it's business. There will be issues. You will make mistakes. Somebody will say, I want navy blue. You will deliver black. Somebody will say, I want a medium. You deliver small. So what I told myself was, integrity should cost you. It should cost you. So if I deliver something to you and you say, what you sent was not big enough, we say, we'll send you a bigger size. And we'll send it to you. Are you fine with that? Person looks at me, say, will I pay? Say, no, you don't need to pay. Then he says, But more than the profit I make on your order, I want to win your heart. It might cost me cost of production for that order, but when anything happens, you are more likely to come back to me. Because you're playing the long game. This year we've sold over 120,000 products. We've done that because we've been in an industry for 2 years, and while we're in that industry for 2 years, we're learning about the industry, the problems, the things that people complain about, the things that people... Every time I tell people, you need to learn more than you're earning. That is the only way you can outgrow where you are currently. If you think money is the... And maybe this advice is a bit too easy for me because I started the business when I was young. I understand the intricacies of being older and having responsibilities, and it's very important. So I started very young and I did not have a lot of responsibilities. So I could say, if your shirt is bad, I'll send you another shirt. It's not always the case in every business, but you need to... The whole point of that is just see through the current order. Make sure you are winning the heart of the person. That's just the whole essence of that point. So consistency, be consistent. We sold t-shirts for 3 years. We pivoted in last year, November, in the middle of the pandemic. Pandemic that would have wiped us away, made us stronger because we actually we bought the deep. We went head on the... Like, you know that, okay, COVID is coming. Brainstorm, okay, COVID is coming. What do we need? Okay, there are going to be events and people might not be able to gather, but you still need to create an experience for people that are going to be at the events. Why not send them merchandise in their houses? We'll handle logistics. We'll discount it for you. Every business can be... So a lot of people think that tech is where innovation happens, but every innovation can happen in any industry. It doesn't really matter what the industry is. The fintech that people shout about is the finance industry being turned upside down. The same thing with print tech, same thing with ed tech, same thing with health tech, and there could be tailor tech. So don't box your mind into what is the leading trend. Take the core dynamic that powers that industry and replicate. It's simple. Sometimes I tell myself, I wish I've never left this country before, but if I leave this country ever, I would literally just be looking at everything they are doing and trying to look for what I can do in my country. I wonder why politicians never notice, but yeah, that's how I think. I go to somewhere, I say, that would be nice. So, and I come back and say, let's try. And we see if it works. If it doesn't work, then we fail and we move on. But if you don't fail, you can't succeed. It's the person that carry first in your class, you know, always is to carry first. So it's very important that you see growth in that light, or you see learning in that light. Learning more than you're earning. Yeah, I've mentioned that. Then support. This is very important. You see, for everybody, every person that says like, if you do a business for me, I tell somebody else, make sure that you don't just say, thank you very much, I really appreciate it. Do you get? Don't just say thank you very much and then you start serving that person, then you leave me out of the loop. Because, and I will still tell another person, but you need to make sure that you need to make it a priority that I am eager to share another time. So every tech company has a referral system. The referral system that tech companies use is exactly what I'm explaining in words here. That when you refer somebody, you get 200 naira or something. It's the same dynamic, so you can use it for any business. So what I do the most is I think. That's my strength. I can work in any industry. So far I can sit down and say, okay, this and this and this and this. Oh, that's how they came about this. Money. Money. So one person had a goat, one person had a cow, one person and he said, I need goat meat, and they exchange, and now there is value. And then now there is store of value, and now money is a thing. Then there's dollar, and then there's naira that is always falling, and there's the one that is not falling. But like, we just need to understand why things are, the structural basis on which, and you don't learn these things in school. That's why I cherish every time people call me to come and talk, because I like opening people's mind up to seeing the way things work. For instance, you have cases of why is it that Christian music is not popular? And then people say, you see, youth of nowadays, they just don't want to. And I say, I currently, over the past 3 years, I have so many people that do music around me, Christian musicians, Angelo, Tomiwa Emmanuel, all of these guys. I didn't used to know them before. They used to be far off, Joe Deep. But now, we met one way or the other, and I realized that these guys are actually doing really good stuff. But people expect them to go through all the challenge in life and still keep doing what they are doing. If the Christian society does not induce these people that are doing these things to keep on doing those things, by the time I'm 50, my kids will not have any Christian music to listen to. And it will be my fault. Because when Davido releases a song, I say, Davido, the song is mad, it's mad. Or do you notice this thing? Do you know that sometimes one new song comes out, people say it's terrible. Give them 2 weeks. They say, it's not bad, oh. It's not bad. Why? Because people have played it all around you. You now like it. But when Tokwe Alabi release song, nobody around you is playing it. You're not even giving yourself the I must play it, I must like it. You just say, Christian music is poor, it's poor. People need to be better. Then they do Christian show, you don't want to pay. How do you want the person to be better? It's not money they used to do better output. I'm just trying to so please listen to Christian music. Yeah, very important. So support, natural or induced. So that's when I said induced. I refer you to this person. Make sure you're like, at some point, this guy, I would do something for him that he'll be thankful. So for instance, let me give you an example. When we started servicing Piggyverse, they had a staff. She got married, she got pregnant, and then she came to us and said, I need a shirt, like baby, mother to be, those. And she said, okay, so how much is it? I said, don't worry, we'll run it on the house. She said, and I'm like, I've joined with you. Like, you brought me way more money than you can never give me. But I am happy to give back to you. Relationships are the core of every business. You are winning trust. You're exchanging value. You're making money. Do not at any level disregard the basic relationship that you have with people. That's the foundational, because the person that is in the room where they will make that decision, you might not be there. In fact, 100% you're not even there. And if you have to be there for you to get that deal, then maybe you're not doing such a good job. And it's not that you're not good at what you're doing, no. Because if you notice, people say, connection. It's connection that is running everything now. It's connection. But when the relationship you're meant to grow, you do not grow. Your connection is 2G. People have been growing relationship. They are now 5G. You're not complaining. It's connection. It's connection. Same person not go do connection when he can connect. He will do what you can connect. You see? You can connect. So it's very important. You need to grow your relationships. You need to nurture them. Somebody is getting married. I'm so happy for you. And don't nurture them with the mindset of, I'm going to collect something for this person one day. No. That is, as Christians, we are driven to be loving. And this is very interesting because as a nature of what we believe in as Christians, we should be great at relationships. The people that hated Jesus did not hate him because he was a bad person. They hated him because they had biases against what he stood for. But the people that worked with him on a natural basis, they loved him because he was a good person. Bad person needs to pay money to bribe somebody to get something good. But a good person, good things come to you from east or west or north, south. But you have to just know that it's good to be good. It pays to be good. Be good. And it doesn't cost much to be good, actually. It's just, if you are against being good, that's when it's difficult. So watch out for people that support you. Cherish them. Appreciate them. This year, I got my first hamper. I was very happy when the person brought the hamper. I said, wow, this feels good. And it was a casual thing, there was a job that we needed to do something for, and then I just said, guy, this is what you do, Abi. This, and the guy brought hamper to our office. I said, wow. For everything you start, there is the phase of growth and learning. It can take 2 years, it can take 3 years, it can take 5 years. You don't really know. Like, for instance, people hear about overnight success. There is nothing like overnight success. For instance, now, I'm 25. Somebody will see, let's say headline now, let's say we raise proceed, and then let's see 25-year-old, You say, this guy overnight success. With all the suffering I'm suffering, so there is that organic growth that needs to happen. So be mentally prepared for that process. Be mentally prepared for it. If you're older, be open to supporting young people to go through that process. Be there for them. Try your best to assist in the ways you can, because that would help that tailor to stay a tailor till he has his big break. And if he doesn't have his big break, it's not your fault. He doesn't have his big break. But if you could have helped somehow, you get, like, if the mother of the boy that they gave two fishes and 5 bread did not carry it to that place, maybe they no go chow that day. And then Jesus will look for another lesson. Maybe it's grass. He will just say, turn to rice or something. But like power is power. You get it? So, but like the fact that he brought somebody aided that. He did not go and get the fish or the bread from somewhere. Did he go and, somebody did it and then gave it to him. There is always aid somewhere, somehow, that leads to people's success. That's just the truth. Like, nobody is an island, as they used to say. Do you get bought? Even islands, they have bridges that connect to them. Like Third Milan. But, yeah. So, like, but you, there has to be that aid. And that's what the church is for. That's what community is. You help someone with something little, the person cherishes it. I do this thing. I don't have a lot of money. I like saying it in public because when I talk about my story, people think I have a lot. No. But this is what you realize. The little you can give to someone goes a very long way. So I used to do this thing. I don't carry cash around because I used to misplace money. The first 1,000 naira I ever made in this life, I lost it. And it was cash. If it was a transfer, I would not lost it. And what did we do? We went to sing at Muzon Center, all boys choir, and then we won a competition. They gave us like 200,000. So they gave 30 of us 1K. My envelope, the money fell, and I was carrying white envelope, empty. So I don't like cash. Thank God for technology. So by the time I would like need to fly like transport, and then I would meet somebody in a vehicle that maybe he has 15 naira and the bus ride is 17 naira as a result of inflation or something, or just conductors wilding or rain. It's very interesting the factors to fight it in this country. Rain is falling, prices go up. Demand and supply, yeah. So you now say, it's 17 naira, 17 naira. If you don't have the money, don't enter. Just say, don't worry, you can come in, I'll pay the difference. The person is like the conductor will say, do you know him? Why should I know him to give him 20 naira? Is 20 naira a lot of money? No, but in that circumstance, it mattered to that person. And you go on with your life. You just do it. Like, what I do now is, when I do something like that, I exit the space fast. Because if I don't leave now, the person that I did something small for will try to give back or something, and I just ghost. You don't see me again. So that you don't say, how far? What did you do? What did you do? No, don't worry. When that window comes, it comes. That's all. That's all. Thank you very much.
Wow. I am sure that if we're taking notes, our notes will be full. Because we have very, very limited time, I'm going to restrict this session to 2 questions.